Pathology presents how Vietnam is challenging China as the manufacturing hub. Do you know China's manufacturing monopoly position is under threat? And what if we told you that the country challenging China's position is not the superpower USA or the upcoming giant India but its tiny neighbor Vietnam? Surprised? We also were. $372 billion is the export revenue clocked by Vietnam in year 2022 as it recorded a trade surplus of nearly $11 billion. Not just exports, its GDP grew at around 8% in 2022, making it one of the fastest growing economies in the world. So how did Vietnam achieve this? The government of Vietnam understood that their road to riches would rely heavily on them being the exporters of key commodities and giving out incentives to attract foreign businesses. Let's take a deep dive on all the developments made by Vietnam in last few decades. 1. China Plus One strategy. This strategy has been adopted by many multinational companies to reduce their risks by investing and diversifying their businesses in countries other than China. There was an over-concentration of business interests in China due to its cheap labor market and lower cost of raw materials. This increased the company's risk profile and made supply chain more rigid as well as vulnerable. Vietnam made sure that the MNCs start seeing it as the one in China Plus One strategy by implementing various policy reforms. 2. Free trade agreements. Vietnam has been active in signing bilateral trade agreements with countries throughout the world. Additionally, due to its membership in the ASEAN, Vietnam has become a party to several free trade agreements. The FTAs help in two ways. First, they can have more diversified sourcing partners and cheaper imports of intermediate goods from partner countries. This boosts the competitiveness of Vietnam's exports. And second, they can partner with foreign firms that can transfer the knowledge and tech needed to raise production. 3. Cheap labor market. On an average, Vietnam's labor costs are half as much as China's. The labor cost is typically characterized by minimum wage. This wage is set by the government, and as cheap labor remains a major competitive edge to pull in investment. The value set is very competitive. 4. Geographical location. Vietnam is located in the center of Southeast Asia. It has a long coastline and is close to many international shipping routes. Moreover, it shares borders with China. Its proximity to the South China Sea, and the fact that one of its two major cities is located near the coast, has made the transportation very seamless. And mind you, globally, transportation cost is almost 10% of total production costs. So it really makes a big difference if your source/destination is easily accessible. 5. Infrastructure development. Vietnam currently spends 6% of its GDP on infrastructure, which is greater than the average percentage spent by ASEAN countries. Now almost 90% of that spending comes from the public budget, which has burdened the national debt and fiscal policy. To overcome this, the government passed a new law on public-private partnership, PPP, with the aim to increase the private investment to at least 20% of the total infrastructure spend. There have been some inefficiencies in planning and execution of large-scale projects. And to make this process more streamlined and structured, it is trying to attract more foreign investment in the construction industry. It is doing so by offering incentives like reduced value-added tax for businesses. Now it already has a location advantage, but if there are well-built international airports, seaports, and rail links, facilitating production flow and transportation, it would propel exports like anything. Vietnam is emerging as the new manufacturing hub for Southeast Asia thanks to robust government policy making and favorable global conditions. Do share your thoughts on Vietnam's growth in the comments section. If you liked the video, please hit the thumbs up button and share the video with your friends. Also, please subscribe and hit the notifications button for more such videos.